Transitions. Over the next 10 minutes, we'll explore transitions and look at how different childcare professionals support children through change. Transition includes changes in environment, circumstances, and relationships. Each individual child will respond in different ways, some with confidence, others with apprehension. Children will develop confidence when changes happen gradually, and the time is taken to support these transitions with planning and preparation.
Transition is a period of change that can be very stressful for a child and their family. And I think how an adult manages that period of change will impact on a child's overall emotional development.
Change is really difficult. Change is difficult for adults, but change for children is extremely difficult and can be really challenging. It definitely prepares them for how they'll deal with new environments later in life.
I think we're preparing them to know that at some stage they will be moving on or spreading their wings to a different place.
First of all, we'd see which days they were coming because we'd want to have a key person for that child, somebody to be responsible for that child and their family's care and support really. So we'd find a key person, match them up with somebody that would be appropriate for the session that day, and that person would go from there really.
If a child's going to come to me, it's really important that I get to know the parents and see and know the child a little bit before they start to come permanently. I have a gradual admission period, and each child handles that differently. I may have a really confident child that may not take too long to settle in with me, or I may have a more cautious child who needs that time and their own space and time to get to know me and their new place where they're going to be.
We have taster sessions, so they come in twice before they start preschool, and that's where the parents come in and they stay and play with them. So we play alongside the child and the parents, and then the parents will leave them for a few hours with ourselves, so it's just the child with the key practitioner. And then obviously childminders come in too and bring their children along, because a lot of the childminders around here bring their children to the setting as well, so that's nice to get used to them both.
I'll start preparing. I'll find out some information on the phone. I'll be ready with my welcome pack with all my information in for that family, welcome them at the door, bring them in and let them just see the children play naturally. They usually spend a few hours here the first time, we have a look round, we have a chat, we get to know each other, and then we're going to go with the child's lead.
There is no one-size-fits-all approach. Each transition process needs to be tailored to the needs of the children and the setting you work in.
It's 5 basic steps really. It's finding out as much as you can about the child, working with the family, allowing the child to become familiar with the environment, and also ensuring that things are ready for them, so being prepared to give them a sense of belonging to the preschool, before they've already really started.
Big welcome at the door, big bye-bye to mum and dad, let's go and play. Let's see what we can find to do. What would you like to play with today? Let's look at their interests, let's go with what they want. It's all there for them.
The first day, we ensure that they have their photograph ready and they have their name tag ready, and also allowing them to have a transitional object, so whether that's a comforter or a teddy bear or something along those lines, so they've got a link with home. And having photographs as well from home, we also have on our family board, so they've got a link to home when they're here.
Having their key practitioner there I think is key, because they go and they see a familiar face and they know that they're going to be cared for.
We also ensure that there's activities that are based around messy play to allow distraction.
So like Jasmine with the water and things like that, she was new, she was a little bit unsure to start off with, so we put out the water in the workshop area, and she absolutely loves it now. She comes in and that's straight where she beelines to.
They're easily distracted by something that feels or smells nice, and it's easy then for them to sort of forget where they are for a moment and forget about the stress that they're feeling. It's like they're too busy involved within the activity to feel any anxiety.
We often use a visual timetable, which is a set of photographs along a road. We do it, so it's the journey throughout the day, throughout their session. So if we either use it with a large group or we use it with individual children, so they can plot their journey throughout the day, so they know what's coming next.
Lots of reassurance for that child. We will see their mum and dad later. They're going to work, they won't be long. We're going to have a great time at Jill's house today.
By that stage, we really know the children well by then. So, I mean, if they look a little bit anxious, then we'll offer them to look at a favourite book, or another tactic we use is to wave to mummy from the window. So a lot of the children like to stand at the window and wave to their mummy goodbye.
They should already be comfortable with their key practitioner at that point, but also it's allowing flexibility. If the child is upset and the mum is upset, we offer a lot of flexibility. The mum can stay for longer if she wishes to, if she feels that would be best for her child. It's very personal. Each transition is very personal to each child.
Key steps in helping a child settle in. Ensuring that you have as much background information about a child as possible before they start is crucial. For example, knowledge of their care routines. Do they require a sleep during the day? Do they have a particular comfort item? What foods do they like? Have you prepared and personalised somewhere for them to hang their coat and keep their belongings? Have you assigned a key person who can be the first point of contact for both child and parents? Does the child know the routine to the first day? For example, who will be there? What toys will be available? Where will the toilets be? What might be for lunch? Forward preparation is crucial.
We work with the parents very closely because it's definitely a partnership at Madley Preschool. So the parents don't just drop their children off at the door, they're invited in every session. The parents are vital. They're the best educator the children's got.
They have a profile about me and also all my policies, which gives them really good background information about how my setting runs. So they're also very aware of how my practice is as well.
On occasions we do a home visit so that we observe the child in a relaxed environment, in an environment that they're confident in, because you can see so much more with the child and the family in that environment.
I mean, there's a few children that like to take toys with them, use them at home so that they've got something familiar to come back into as well. So definitely, and there's photographs, if they want to take photographs of us, that's fine. We'd work very closely with the childminders because if the children also go to the childminder and here, then we do the transition together.
Luckily, I've got a really good link with the local preschool here. We share quite a few children, so I have some a few days and maybe those children go to preschool another day. They're very aware of who I am as a childminder, the school and the preschool. I've done lots of visits. I've also taken my group of children along there to see their setting on their open days. And they've also been here as well to see how my practice works.
We work together quite closely. We visit each other's settings to get an overall view, an overall picture of the child in both settings really.
What I think is really important, because we share a couple of children, we do get together once a term to discuss the children's needs and how they're getting on here and also how they're developing at preschool. So we've got a really good cross of reflecting back on our practice and just to see how that individual's getting on.
When changes are supported by responsive, knowledgeable adults, children will gradually discover that their world is a safe and predictable place. Positive experiences with transitions will stand them in good stead when faced with bigger changes that will inevitably come their way. For more information on this topic and many more, visit the members area at www.pacey.org.uk and download fact sheets and practice guides, or discuss this with your peers at Pacey Local.